So welcome everyone. It's 3:01, and since we have a lot on our agenda, we would just like to start. As I know there will be some more people joining along the way, but let's just go ahead. The main speakers will come later anyway, and I will start with some introduction. My name is Antje Hechelchen, and many of you might know me already. I'm one of the co-chairs of the GEO-LDN initiative and also leading the GEO-LDN Secretariat. Today's online seminar is one of a series of monthly online seminars that we have just started 2 months ago. So it's the third in the series. And today we will focus on capacity development. So more to say on long-term capacity development for future decision makers through a postgraduate program at the UENR in Sunyani, Ghana. But the experts will speak on that later, so I will not talk too much about it. The main target group of the seminar today is, of course, anyone who is interested. And the main target group is also students and graduates who are interested to apply for this program, who will be able to ask any questions, and also anyone who likes to contribute to the postgraduate course, for example, via online lectures or exchange of modules of ongoing programs. Here you see the website where you will find the recording of today's online seminar, and you also find the recording of the past online seminars. Just to let you know, it's our aim with those online seminars is to build a community, to have a nice informal way of exchanging, or semi-informal at least, of exchanging peer-to-peer learning among people from the Earth observations community, from the environment community, from the land use planning community, and today also specifically with the academic community. It's meant to learn, to show what's going on in the community, to ask questions, to debate, and to give input for us. And it's embedded in a whole strategy within GEO-LDN to build this community. So the online seminars are just one puzzle piece of this. We will also have yearly in-person dialogue forums. We have an online LinkedIn community, capacity development efforts, and this goes hand in hand also with our Earth observation related activities like the development of the LDN toolbox. Just since I said it's building the community is one of our main focuses, I would really like to know who is here already. So I will do a small interactive activity with you. So I would ask everyone to turn off the cameras right now. And then if you are, so everyone to turn off the cameras right now. And if you are working at the University of Energy and Natural Resources in Ghana, please turn on your camera. Here you are. Welcome. You are our main persons today. Thank you very much for focusing. We will hear much more from you in a few minutes. So this is, everyone can appreciate who you are, your faces, and you will speak later on. Thank you very much. And then I would like to everyone again to turn off the camera and turn everyone who is a graduate or a student who is interested in applying for the postgraduate program. So who's joining from this perspective, from a student perspective, to turn on the camera right now. So any students that are participating in this call, please turn on the camera if you can. So is there anyone interested from a student perspective in joining this seminar today? So at this stage, that is not the case, or you're not able to turn on the camera. That's also possible. Then I would like to ask, who of you is joining because you think you could contribute to this seminar? So not to the seminar, sorry, to the postgraduate program. So who of you is joining today because you think you can contribute to the program by providing lectures, by knowledge exchange, by exchanging modules? Then please turn on your camera now. Hi, Ingrid. I'm sure there are some more. At least I saw some names which I think who would fit to this category. But maybe you're also just shy to turn on your cameras. Okay, thank you. Then the last question. Anyone who hasn't turned on their camera yet, please turn on the camera. I welcome very much to the seminar. Please, so you can share in the chat what's your main motivation and expectation for the online seminar today, so we can make sure in the discussion that we capture this. Thank you very much. I will just move over a little bit to some housekeeping rules and then share the agenda and then hand over to Bernd, who will moderate the rest of the seminar. So some housekeeping rules, just so if you have a question, please use the chat box if you can. So then we will note it. Some of you might not have access to the chat. Then of course you can also raise your hand or make us known that you want to say something. Please mute your microphones the whole time when you are not speaking. Raise your hand when you want to speak, so you can use the digital hand. If that shouldn't work, you turn on your camera and you just wave and show us that you want to speak. Also, if possible, please switch on your camera during the question and answer session at the end. It makes it more personal, and then we can also see our mimics. That's much nicer. Okay, so I move over to the agenda for today. So we are at the end of the welcome and intro, which is done by me today. Bernd will say something later on this. And then we will have two presentations, one 10 minutes, one 20-minute presentation, which will be introduced by Bernd later on the postgraduate program. And we will have 15 minutes for question and answer, and then 5 minutes for concluding remarks at the end. And I'm very much looking forward to this session today and hand over to Bernd.
Yeah, thank you, Antje. And the next slide, please. Yeah, welcome also from my side. As Antje mentioned, I'm standing in today for Mark Grazi, who is our capacity development advisor, but he can't be here, unfortunately, today. So he's been very active with Dr. Moorman, Professor Kaboba, and others at UENR to move forward this postgraduate study program. My name is Bernd Eversmann. I'm the Earth Observation Advisor in the project. And without further ado, I'd like to move on to introduce our first speaker, and that is Dr. Jonas Akudugu. I hope I have pronounced the name correctly. So Dr. Jonas is an oversight dean of the School of Mines and Built Environment. He's also a senior lecturer at the UENR, and the world is small. He obtained his PhD in development studies from Bonn University. the city where the GEO-LDN Secretariat is hosted at the moment. Dr. Akodugu has been in academia for over 2 decades, and he has experience in research as well as in university administration, teaching courses, supervising undergraduate and postgraduate level. So we are very happy to have you on board here today, Dr. Jonas. And next slide, please. Yeah, Dr. Jonas will speak about the importance of postgraduate programs focused on LDN. And you have 10 minutes. Please try to stick to your time so that we have time for the question and answer session afterwards. And with those few words, Dr. Akodugu, the floor is yours. We are looking forward to hear from you.
Thank you very much for the introduction and then this opportunity. So I will do this brief interaction with you. Generally, when we're talking about postgraduate studies, it's usually anchored on the need to acquire more knowledge. I mean, we've studied from various fields of endeavor, and sometimes even within your field, you realize that there are certain areas that you still do not feel like having learned enough in that. So one would like to go for postgraduate studies so they can gain more knowledge in that particular field of endeavor. Some are driven by the desire for research. For some of us, after our undergraduate studies, we like to do more research. We develop the interest for research. And academia, the good place for research is actually at postgraduate level. That is where you do what? An expanded research focus on the specific topic of investigation. So people with passion for research usually desire to go for postgraduate studies so that they can have the opportunity to do more research into a field and to discover more knowledge for society and for he or herself. The other reason is usually they need to gain some gravitas. If you say I want to be like this, I want to speak with authority. You know, a first degree is not enough. In some places, people will call postgraduate certificate as licentiate. You need to get to a place where you say, okay, this is my grounding. You know, I have a firm grounding in this particular field. Maybe land, if it is land, which aspect of land? Governance or general land management or what? So you need to have, you want to have that kind of grounding. So these are some of the reasons why people embark on postgraduate studies. But today our focus is basically postgraduate studies with regards to programs on land degradation neutrality. And for us, the context that we need to understand is that land is so important in this part of the world, or the entire world. People rely on land for everything. Almost everything about man comes from land. Millions of people derive their livelihood directly from land. But the unfortunate situation we find ourselves is that the capacity of land to produce the needed resources for us is declining. Desertification is fast approaching in many parts of the world. Land degradation is now becoming more rampant than before, and the quality or the productive capacity of land is declining. So there's a need to take the step to reverse these trends. That is to halt degradation, or to reverse it, or to make land more productive for man use. So how do we do it? So there are various aspects of doing it, but our focus today is that, and the key argument over time, which the GEO group has agreed and supporting this particular endeavor, there's a need to train the human resource. We need quality human resource. We need to raise experts, people with expertise in land, and people who also have will develop that passion to work towards degradation neutrality, degradation neutral well. We're heading towards that. We want to drive towards that. Well, we can say we are talking about zero degradation, so that people can what? Be sure of or assured of their livelihood. So the context today is now, how do we build capacity on that? And the best way to do that is what? To embark on this postgraduate program. And they're supposed to give us so much benefits. So when you look at the land degradation neutrality program, the case for it is clear. Because, for instance, we say it finds expression in SDG 15.3, where we are talking about combating desertification, restoring degraded land and soils, and then striving to achieve land degradation neutral well. So it's a program of relevance. So there's a case for it. It's not like a program, oh, what is this program all about? Is it relevant or not? No, it is very relevant, because the way we find ourselves, like I'm just giving the trend, there's a need for us to halt the degradation of land. So we are raising the capacity. We are designing this program in a way that it will build the capacity and raise a generation of experts that will work in this field to ensure that the SDG 15.3 is attained. The second reason why we're making case for the postgraduate program land degradation neutrality is the fact that we've designed this program in a way that we'll be able to link knowledge to action. It is not just about acquiring knowledge on land degradation neutrality, but our concern and our focus is that after going through this postgraduate program, people will be able to translate the knowledge that they acquired into action. So we are looking for people with a passion in land. We're looking for people with a passion to address SDG 15.3. So it is not just about just acquiring knowledge, but after the knowledge acquisition, we want people to realize that we are experts and we are going to play a lead role in addressing this trend, which is affecting human society and our time. So we designed a way that we want to link knowledge to action. When my colleague take through the curriculum, we will see how it's being designed, how we design it in a way that we can link it from what knowledge to action. The other key reason is that we want to raise experts. For some of us, we studied various fields. Some have done spatial planning, some have done agriculture, some have done natural resource management, and some have bachelor's degrees in environmental management. You have worked in various fields, you have worked in various organizations and endeavors, but now this program is offering the opportunity for us to come and learn and get that grounding in land degradation neutrality. What are the appropriate skills? What are the knowledge sets that are needed to work in the field of land degradation neutrality? And this is what we designed the program to address, that we want to raise experts. Because if land degradation is a problem, and we all accept it's a problem, so the solution lies on what? Raising that generation of what? Experts who have a grounding in land degradation neutrality. I remember some people were asking, oh, why do you title the program land degradation neutrality? What is it all about? So you have to understand what it is and how to apply it. And that's why we actually use that specific title, land degradation neutrality, because we want people coming to this program to learn the language, to learn the concept, and to learn the tools on land degradation neutrality. So that at the end of your 2-year or 3-year training in this program, you really acquire that skills and that grounding in the field. The last thing that I think this program seeks to address, or why this program is so relevant, is the program is designed to equip people with problem-solving skills. Land degradation is a problem. Desertification is a problem. So we want to research into how do we research into it? And when I said even linking what we call it, knowledge to action, it is the same thing. So you have to what? To be able to develop that interest to research more into land degradation neutrality. And how to come up with also what appropriate recommendation to address the trend. So the program is also designed to equip people with problem-solving research skills, not just people who come out with capacity to do research, but research that will end up solving specific problem. So this is one of the relevance of this particular program, because it's a problem identified to address. It's not just any postgraduate program, but it's designed to address a problem. It is designed for us to strive towards achieving land degradation neutral well by 2030. So we are equipping participants of the program with problem-solving research. And finally, the missing link in all these issues about land is that, especially if you look at many parts of Africa, people have learned so much on land governance, land administration, land tenure. But the skills to collect and analyze and apply geospatial data is what is really lacking in most cases. How do we map out degraded areas? How do we scientifically monitor the trend of land degradation? So the curriculum that will be shown very soon, you will see that much of this, the focus of this particular postgraduate program is what? Is tailored towards the acquisition, equipping participants with this geospatial tools. So you see a lot of courses on remote sensing, on GIS, on all those, and their application. Because that is a skill set that is really also lacking. Because many people for land governance and general administration, yeah, we have the idea on it. But we are talking about land degradation. How do we map it out? How do we monitor the trend? And how can we now address it? So these are the basic reasons or importance why this postgraduate program land degradation is being designed. And I want to thank the GEO team for actually supporting this particular capacity building program. It is my hope and the hope of the university and also the GEO group that within the next few years, we'll really have a new generation of people with this kind of expertise and then passion to work towards SDG 15.3. I would like to thank you very much. I'll come back during question time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Akudoku, for giving us the context, the relevance of such a postgraduate program on LDN. Thank you so much again. And as you say, we will have more time during the Q&A session. In the light of time, let me move right over to our next speaker, Dr. Abdul Wadud Momen. He's the coordinator of the postgraduate program on LDN at the University of Energy and Natural Resources. And he received his PhD in Spatial Sciences, the Western Australian School of Mines in Perth, Australia. And apart from his role at UENR, he has several other assignments at global research institutions with the UNEP and others. Dr. Momen, we are very happy to have you here to talk more in detail about the postgraduate program at your university. Over to you.
Thanks very much, Ben, and thank you. Good afternoon to everyone on this platform. I'm very privileged to have the opportunity to present to everyone here the curriculum on the postgraduate programs in LDN. And as my dean rightly put it, LDN postgraduate programs are such an important area that we cannot actually afford to miss them. First of all, why is it that the University of Energy and Natural Resources has to take this up on its shoulders to be the carrier of this pioneering area of study, field of study in Africa, not only in West Africa or in Ghana? The University of Energy and Natural Resources is a public university established by an Act of Parliament, Act 830, in December 2011. And the university finally came to start its first enrollment in September 2012. And the core mandate of the university includes that the university should provide training, provide leadership in science, technology, and also the management of energy and natural resources. The university has also been given the mandate to also provide the quality and quantity of trained personnel needed in these areas, including engineering, provide engineering solutions, as we seek to do with the LDN programs, to provide engineering solutions to countervailing and prevailing global issues, as well as regional and local issues. To also provide environment for training students with a high sense of professionalism, imbibing in them ethical rules and regulations, as well as the culture of ethics and the honesty in scientific and industrial practice, and also to be able to open an avenue for students to collaborate with external agencies as well as local agencies in all their endeavors in life. Can we move to next slide? Yep, so the background to the development of the program is that we already had conceived to develop BSc, MSc, MPhil, PhD programs in sustainable land management until it came to our desk that the 12th session of the Conference of the Parties of the UN Convention to Combat Desiccation, UNCCD, has integrated Target 15.3 of the Sustainable Development Goals, which has to do with land degradation neutrality, and which actually is one of the many factors of sustainable land management. And for that reason, we feel that it dovetails into what we sought to do. Why don't we take it up and then give it more detailed curriculum coverage so that a lot of people can benefit from the competence and also from the relevance of our institution with regards to its mandate. So the LDN programs, postgraduate programs, actually entail adopting sustainable land management monitoring frameworks so that we can minimize the current and also avoid a future land degradation with regards to resource development and as well as other anthropogenic issues. More so, the UNCCD also invited the GEO Group on Earth Observation Secretariat to provide these essential services towards achieving the land degradation neutrality 15.3 target of the SDGs. And in context, the areas that the GEO was required, and as the call requires, is that GEO should liaise with other institutions across developing countries to build capacity in these areas, and which we have accepted the call. And so, drawing on over 10 years experience of our university and our staff, very competent and skilled staff, we have decided to contribute and accept this call to capacity building, contributed to capacity building to address the UNCCD call to GEO. And for that reason, we partner with GEO to run the LDN programs. So this is our contribution. And at the postgraduate level, postgraduate programs naturally are developed. One of the importance of a curriculum development is actually to address issues, to build capacities in addressing global issues as well as local issues. And so the LDN seek in one wing to address the trending global forest and land degradation issues that are besetting global resource development now. And what Ghana is at the center of resource development and degradation, land degradation, as well as forest degradations. And that is one of the relevance of our program I would want to add here. Yes, can we move to next slide? The aims and objectives of the program. So we have built and developed Master of Science, Master of Philosophy, and PhD, Doctor of Philosophy programs in land degradation neutrality, as well as sustainable land. So right now, as we have, we thought upon deep thinking, we realized that PhD is a more broader area of study than Master of Science and Master of Philosophy. So we then said that since land degradation neutrality is just one facet of sustainable land management, we will title it the MSc and the MPhil as such. But then we would have to broaden the horizon to the larger picture of sustainable land management at the PhD level. And that is why you would find the PhD titled as sustainable land management, which encapsulates everything that it has to take to cover in land degradation neutrality. And it aims to all these three programs aim to train people on advanced skills to form the much needed manpower to contribute to the sustainable management of our land resources. And two key objectives underpin the postgraduate programs. One is to develop capacity of individuals, institutions, and also systematic levels for sustainable land management. When we say systematic levels, which includes all resource development agencies, institutions, companies, the private sector or public sector, and also government institutions and agencies, as well as individuals who would want to enhance their capacity in the areas that the programs actually cover. Then also the second objective is to undertake applied policy research, which has to do with the PhD and the MPhil, and analysis and providing evidence on policies and good practices in sustainable land management and restoration that optimize livelihoods, jobs, and many other opportunities for people, as well as for countries and the regions. Next slide. So to be eligible to qualify for these programs, first, as I said, the taught courses for the Master of Science and Master of Philosophy are almost the same thing. We want to build the same skill set for people at that level. Then those who would want to delve into applying the skill set into addressing environmental and real life situation issues those we would escalate to the Master of Philosophy level. And for that reason, the eligibility is open to all applicants having the requisite background. First of all, to qualify for the master's level, that's MSc or MPhil, you must have a first degree, and you must be a first degree holder from any eligible institution as may be approved by our academic board, the academic board of the UENR. And you must have not limited to the, as you can see on the screen, these backgrounds: land management, land economy, environmental studies, environmental engineering, natural resources management, geomatic engineering, geospatial science, any background that has relevance to resource development and land resource development, you are welcome to apply as far as you meet our minimum requirements. And also you may have to go through interview process. So we also encourage people with professional background with a lot of experience, rich experience in industry as well as in institutional development. So people with such backgrounds who are interested in pursuing MSc or MPhil degree in sustainable and land degradation neutrality are all welcome to this program. Also, for the university internal requirements, candidates who want to apply for the master's level must have a minimum of second class lower for our LDN, and this is determined by our team, that you must have a master's of second class lower at the first degree level in relevant fields that may qualify for this. Of course, if you have a bachelor's degree in manufacturing engineering, you do not qualify for LDN. If you have a bachelor's degree in graphic design, you do not qualify. But if you have, first degree, if you have a first degree in, let's say, environmental engineering, chemical engineering, even agriculture engineering, you are qualified and you are welcome to apply for this with a good class. And also you have to pass the interview as well. And holders of postgraduate diploma certificates with a good class may also apply for consideration. And we'll take a whole lot of
Dr. Moorman, you are muted. Have we lost you? Dr. Moorman, are you still in the call? Amos, it may be that we have lost up to for the time being. Are you able to step in?
Hello? Hello? Yes,
Hello?
Jambas. Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, so let's move to next slide. I'm done with eligibility.
Okay. Thank you.
Apologies to say that it's raining over here, and over here in Africa, when it rains, you have a headache of power and internet connection. So
no worries, we understand.
Yes, so the degrees shall be awarded solely by University of Energy and Natural Resources. No, I think, yep. So the degree shall be awarded by the University of Energy and Natural Resources. Did we look at the eligibility for the PhD? I only remember we looked at the eligibility for masters. There could be a slip of slide.
Dr. Mon, we have skipped that slide. I think we could move back, but please, in the light of time, remember you have 3 minutes left,
Yeah, that's
so that
fine.
we have
So
enough time
let's
for
move on.
questions.
Yeah, so for the master's programs, as I already said, no classification, but you must have good weighted averages in all your courses taking. And for those who want to do the PhD, we require you to have a 60% of FWA. That's final weighted average. And no final GPA for doctoral candidates is required. Whoever wants to apply, you apply with a minimum of 60% FWA. And the University of Energy will award the certificates solely. Next slide. Next slide. Yep. So these are the courses, specific courses that we have tabled and which have been approved and what do you call it, accredited by the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. We now have the accreditation for all these. And I went for the certificate. I for one or two things I couldn't pick it. For masters, MEC, MPhil, we have land tenure. I don't have, for sake of time, I don't have to run through all of them. You can see them. And for the semester 6, hours, we have 5 core courses. Please, next slide. Yep, 5 core courses. And then 1 elective course for the second semester for students to take on board and to make up 36 credit loads for a semester. And then we have 9 credit loads for MSc project paper, which would add to the 36 to give you about 4 to 5 credit loads to qualify for graduation. And that is within 2 semesters for the MSc. Next slide. Yes, I think I'm already done with it. So, and then for the MPhil, you have another 1 year more. You have one year more to make 18 credits. And in the course of the 1 year, we would expect you to do a presentation of your work, not the defense, but an ordinary presentation, which would attract another 3 credits in addition to the 18 credits for your thesis. And that will give you 21 credits for that 1 year period, in addition to your 36 to give you the minimum credit load required for graduation with an MPhil. Next slide. And for the PhD, which is the next slide, you have for the first semester, these are the courses that we have arranged for you. And for PhD, because of the amount of work required, we do not expect PhD students to take up to 6 credit loads, but a minimum of 5 would give you, each course is 3 credits. So what gives you a total of 15 credits for the semester. And for the second semester is the same thing, but there will be, please next slide, there will be electives for the PhD candidates to pick. So you have 4 core courses, and then you pick 1 more elective course to specialize in the second semester, which will also have to give you a total of 15 credit loads for that semester. One caveat I have to bring your attention to is that those students with background proficiency in GIS and remote sensing, geospatial background, may not have to take these courses, remote sensing, introduction to remote sensing and GIS, but would have to take the advanced courses in remote sensing and GIS. But then they would also have to take more elective courses to make up for the credit load required to qualify for graduation. So that is the caveat I have to throw there. Next slide. Yep, so the PhD would also require you to do, for the next 2 or 3 more years you have to do. In the PhD, you have to give us presentation to tell us the progress of your work. And at any point in time, if you are fortunate to have the award with us, we expect you to consistently be progressing. If there is no progress, good progress reports upon appraisals, we would have to withdraw our award support. Even if you do not have award support with us, for a period of time, if we feel that your progression is not really good through your presentations, we would have to withdraw you from the program. Thank you. So next slide. Yep. So at this stage, we, as I initially said, we have the scholarship scheme coming up in collaboration with the GEO-LDN Secretariat, with a lot of support, funding support from UNCCD and the government of Germany. And we also encourage a whole lot of people who are here with us in this webinar. Those who are interested, everybody is invited to apply. We have extended the application period for foreign applicants only up to the end of June. Then we can proceed to do the selection. We unfortunately could not have enough foreign applications, prospective international students applications in the last period of opening. So we have to extend that for all of you. And we encourage as many as foreign prospective applicants, international applicants to apply. Then we can proceed to do assessments of the applications. And then we also expect to have further funding support. We are still in discussions with the Concordia Foundation, which is found in the Concordia University in Montreal, in Canada. We hope that it will be fruitful so that we can have further funding support to support the award scheme, and also to support research as well. So we are also scheming around for further research grants that we can help our faculty with, and also our postgraduate students with, to do enough research into LDN as well as sustainable land management, so that we couch it out as our unique area of competence in the whole of Africa. Currently, I and my colleague who is part of this webinar, Dr. Lilisa Yevuga, we have a little funds from the IITA, that's International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, to do land cover and land degradation map, mixed farming areas in the north of Ghana. And this is just one part of the larger project they have. And they expect us to, as we move along with the project, to get a postgraduate student on board whose research will be supported further by the project. So these are some of the prospects of the LDN and the sustainable PhD programs, that as we move along, we carry on board more research projects that will support and facilitate postgraduate students' research work in most of the areas that LDN seek to train your expertise towards. And we are still exploring for more opportunities for support. Next slide. Yep, so that is the end of my presentation, and I thank you all for your attention and audience. Thank you.
Already, no, I think to not spend much time on your long biography, let me just say all protocol observed. Professor Amos is one of the leading faces of the GEO-LDN initiative, co-chair and also head of department at the UENR. Over to you, Amos, for closing remarks.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm happy this is coming up. I think what we are just trying to do as a flagship is to create a network of professionals who are trained with the necessary tools in reporting on the SDG goal number 15. So this is a step we have taken. As we are just discussing, there may be lapses, and like once someone mentioned, okay, are we giving climate change a priority? Someone may also ask, are we giving law a priority? There will be a lot of other aspects. But as we go along, we believe the curriculum will be further modified to include some of the text. But in my concluding remarks, we really want to explore the opportunity for other experts to join us, to teach, to hold some online seminars to further enrich the capacities that we want to build. We are still looking forward for more partners to join the flagship in order to push this agenda of training the next manpower that we need in ensuring that we are safeguarding our land. And we believe that once we safeguard our land, it means that we are able to address almost all of the other SDGs that we are targeting on. So thank you all for making the time to join in this particular 1 hour webinar. And we look forward. So feel free to send your questions and comments to us, and we'll be there to see how best we can address those. Thank you very much, and looking forward for you joining our future webinars. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Can we see the final slides just while we... So in case if further questions come up, please don't hesitate to write to us at the email address mentioned here, geo-LDN@giz.de. We will forward your questions to the colleagues at UENR, and we hope you pass on the information received today also to others who might be interested, because as you know, the application process is open for this postgraduate study course. Thank you so much. And please stay tuned also of our next seminar in June, probably towards the end of June, and we'll communicate through the usual channels like LinkedIn and Twitter. Thank you so much.